Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This time we're looking at AMC in the pre-market so far, and of course what we could be expecting from today. Now today's pre-market is kind of the opposite to what we saw, say, yesterday, where we had that massive spike up of plus 10%. Again, today looking to be the opposite of that, where we are down by 2.5, so we can see a complete change in stance right there, but still it's not too bad. Now a key detail is that from the time of filming to the time that market opens, we have about 30 minutes, I believe, so still some time for things to change, and we are seeing a little bit of an uptick just recently, but you get the generalized picture. Things are not looking up so far today. But I don't think that is the full and complete picture as I disclosed last night, because I think whilst the price action may be doing one thing, the data behind the scenes is more interesting than ever. But of course we are going to cover all of that in this video. If you do enjoy this sort of content, subscribe if you can, and now we're going to jump in. Now where I want to start off with is the price action that we saw yesterday, which was really surprising. If you remember yesterday in the pre-market, we had that massive gap up on open. Coming out to the 5-day, you can see that very clearly. So we had that massive spike up, taking us all the way from this point all the way to up here. Within the first 20 or so minutes, they dropped that down significantly to the point where we saw actually the low of the day. Now again, from a day where we were up 10% in the pre-market, a lot of people understandably expected today, or yesterday rather, to be a day where we saw 50% plus gains. But clearly that was not what they had planned for us, and we continued to drop down, actually finishing the day red. Massively surprising if you ask me. But whilst that's what the scenes on the front shows, we have a lot else to look at. Things like the volume for yesterday, which was over 100 million. That's also a big win. Other things that we have to look at include the Ortex data, which was provided by JD Ruckus. This is the closing bell update, the one that we didn't check out yesterday, but we get a picture of where we were at the end of yesterday. Now again, we will be looking at the data for today, hopefully later on. But let's have a look at what we have over here. Now we can have a look at each of the pages, but we'll just highlight the key details. What we're looking at for this page is key figures like the number of shares returned compared to the borrowed, leaving us with a borrowed change of minus 418k for the day. We had a cost to borrow minimum of 1.5% with a cost to borrow maximum of just under 15, giving us an average figure which is actually significantly higher to the upside than the downside, sat around 10%. Now that is not insignificant, because it means that this is costing the shorts to hold their positions. Now bear in mind, the cost to borrow fee is not something which long investors pay. It's something which short investors pay, and that's where they are going to get hurt, in my opinion. Now apparently about 22% of the free float is on loan, and of course that figure is sat at 22.83, so that's the current short interest of the free float. The number of shares being 170 million, which is not insignificant. Now coming over to the second page, we have other key statistics, but we're going to have a look at the main ones. Again, like I said yesterday, I'm looking at things like the utilization, which is at 100% once more. We're looking at things like the cost to borrow, which is up by 61%. We're looking at things like the value of the SI, which is up by 24%. So you get a picture of what we're looking at here. Data is very, very strong. In fact, it's not been this strong for a long time, in my opinion. And with the cost to borrow rising, that is a very exciting thing. So, the key takeaways that I'm going to provide for this video are simple and clear. I would not read too much into the pre-market sessions because retail don't have much access to them anyway. But also, on top of that, even if the price does not move up or down today, tomorrow, or any point this week, it's only half of the story, if not less. Because what we're looking at here is data which can be manipulated. We know this already, but it's just important to remind us. The price action, it does directly impact the value of our shares, clearly, but it doesn't necessarily mean that things are looking down for us. So remember that, and also remember that the volume for the pre-market today is still at around 2 million, which really is not insignificant. So that's the key takeaways for this morning. Hope you enjoyed the short video. If you did, of course do subscribe, and I'll be back with you guys later.